Am I the a-hole for saying no when my family said I should let my sister have her honeymoon at my house? Backstory. My house used to belong to my parents, but they sold it to me in 2017. It had been a family vacation home of sorts. Every couple of years when my grandparents were alive, they'd invite us kids up there for a week. Fast forward to the end of 2016, my sister got accepted to her dream college. Won't say which, but it's a big one. Everyone was excited and proud of her. Me too. But a week after that, my parents called asking if I'd found a house yet. I was looking for one and my family knew it. I've been saving up since I started my first job at 20. I said no, so my dad suggested I buy the lake house from them. I asked why they wanted to sell it. Turns out sister didn't have any savings for college, didn't get some scholarship like she'd planned, and our parents couldn't afford to pay for everything either. I asked why she didn't get student loans, and they said they didn't want her ruining her credit. So their solution was to sell the lake house and use the money from that to finance her college. I had lots of good memories from the lake house, so eventually I agreed. I work via computers, so after getting a good internet connection out there, moved right in and been there since. My significant other moved in permanently last year before lockdown, and it's been pretty blissful. 2019. My sister and her college boyfriend got engaged. Parents agreed to pay for her wedding, but like with every other wedding around then, things got set back. Sister had to postpone her wedding until this year, and she plans to have it in December. I even agreed to be in the bridal party. Issues came up recently when my sister asked where I was going to stay for the 2 weeks after her wedding. Puzzled, I answered, my house? She got a sour look and said that wouldn't work. Her and fiancé would be there and they wanted private time. I asked why they'd be at my house, and she said that's where they were having their honeymoon. 2 weeks alone at a lake house. I said that was news to me, and she insisted our parents said it was fine, but I said it wasn't their place to make decisions about my house. After arguing, she called our parents who said I was being unreasonable. I said I didn't want my sister and her fiancé christening their new union by being intimate in my house. They said I was being gross and selfish. I said no again, so sister threatened to remove me from the bridal party. I just shrugged and said okay. She starts crying, saying she already couldn't have her dream wedding like she wanted, and now I was trying to ruin her honeymoon too. I told her to rent a hotel room like every other newlywed couple, then hung up. She's not speaking to me, and I'm uninvited to the wedding. Our parents keep calling me and saying I should do this for her since her wedding's only 1/3 what she wanted it to be, but I'm not comfortable with them staying unsupervised at my house. They're making me feel like a monster for saying no. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. I don't know if it's just me, but the favoritism is shining brighter than the sun. Not the a-hole. Your sister is crazy for expecting that before even conforming with you. It's definitely not you. I could see the favoritism shining from a mile away. Very easy to see who the golden child is here. OP not the a-hole. It's your home, so your parents and sister have absolutely no say whatsoever who can and can't stay there without consulting the person who owns the property. They sold it to you, so it's no longer the family holiday / lake house. It's your house. They don't get to take the money from the sale and still dictate who can and can't use it. That's not how selling a house works. Period. Not the a-hole. They don't have money to cover for her education to the point of selling a house, but they do for her wedding? She doesn't get to guilt you for already not having her dream wedding because she chose to get married at a time in which she still depends on her parents. What she needs is a reality check, not a wedding. Until your parents stop treating her like their little princess, she's gonna be a lost cause, which you don't have to take any responsibility for. I actually worry about this a lot. I wonder how she's going to survive after our parents pass away because they're not young anymore. They're getting old, and once they're gone, I'm not taking their place to cuddle her. My family said I should let my sister have her honeymoon at my house. I'm sorry, what now? Look, it's your house now. It's been your home for 4 years. Not only do your parents have no business giving anyone permission to stay at your home, what the heck was your sister thinking that you just moved out of your home for 2 weeks? Which would also mean you're paying money for their honeymoon. Not just because you would need a hotel, but also because you're the one paying for the utilities. And while it was rather crass to explicitly say what they would be doing in your house, it is accurate and reasonable to object to them staying at your house. She's not speaking to me and I'm uninvited to the wedding. So, not only entitled, but incredibly petty and vindictive. Our parents keep calling me and saying I should do this for her since her wedding is only 1/3 what she wanted it to be. That's unfortunate for her, but that doesn't make it okay to demand others give her anything because of it. It certainly doesn't make it okay to demand someone give up their home for 2 weeks. Not today, Hall. Yeah, if she wanted to visit with her fiancé, then I could handle that. I'd still be skeeved out that they'd more than likely be bumping uglies out of earshot of me and my significant other. But I would have handled that better than her basically asking me to leave for 2 weeks for her. Little update. Well, learned something new today. I spoke to my sister, like a few people suggested, and asked her if she knew the lake house was legally my house. As in, I bought it years ago. She was not, in fact, aware of this. She was under the impression from our parents that they were letting me live there rent-free. I corrected her and even showed her proof that they sold the house to me. And when she asked why they sold it, I was honest and said it was to pay for her college tuition/lifestyle. She became quiet after that and we soon hung up. No idea what's going to happen now. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking my wife's brother out of my wedding? To start, I just want to mention that my brother-in-law Dennis, male 24 and I male 28, don't see eye to eye with each other because we're both very different individuals. He's a bit arrogant and doesn't like to spend time with family. My wife tried to have us spend more time together, but me and Dennis just don't get along. Simple as that. My in-laws are his providers, and they also raise hell on whoever tries to disrespect him. They love me as well, so that's nice. At least I thought. Anyway, so when I visited Dennis to personally hand him my wedding invitation, he told me he may not be attending because he planned to go fishing that day. I couldn't tell if it was a joke, but I didn't care, although this is his sister's wedding. At my wedding, I thought Dennis wasn't coming, and his dad said he's gone fishing. My wife was upset until he showed up, but I wasn't happy. I was mad when I saw that he showed up in t-shirt and shorts, sunglasses and flip-flops. I flipped the hell out and asked what the hell he was wearing. He said it perfectly matches the weather, and complained that it's hot and we could have just picked an indoor venue with air conditioning instead. The guests were staring. Dennis said he didn't give a damn. I pulled him aside and demanded he go change if he still wanted to be at the wedding. My father-in-law gave the leave him alone look, and my wife was shocked. But I certainly told him he needed to have some respect and not wear freaking flip-flops at my wedding. He left and came back in 40 minutes wearing a tuxedo very, very similar to mine with the same bow tie and same everything. My best man was the first to see. He was shocked and told me we had a problem. I had it. I immediately walked up to him to stop him from being seen by the guests. Asked him if he was crazy and yelled at him to leave. My in-laws got involved and told me to back off. This event isn't mine alone, therefore I have no right to kick their son out for following the rules, and accused me of intentionally excluding him from his sister's wedding. He told his parents to not bother with me, shouting, "He's jealous," in front of my family. I kicked him out and told my in-laws they were next if they tried to bring him back. My in-laws were livid and kept berating me for hours, demanding I apologize for making Dennis miss his only sister's wedding. We haven't talked in a week, and my wife says Dennis and I are both a-holes. Was I the a-hole? Everyone sucks here, except your wife. But you most of all. You. Nowhere in this do I see your wife's opinion, except until after the facts. You don't kick out your partner's sibling without their opinion, period. Also, personally, I don't give a damn what people would be wearing to my wedding as long as my loved ones are there. You sound like appearances are more important than people to you. P.S. You don't have to like the guy, but he's your wife's family. You need to learn to deal with him. Dennis, his a-hole for showing up without confirmation. And I'm guessing the whole tuxedo thing was him making a statement he should have not been making at someone else's wedding. Though his behavior was totally provoked by you, at least in part. The in-laws, a-hole for berating you at your own wedding. All of you, not taking into account what the bride actually wanted, and being self-centered a-holes on her wedding day. Honestly, if I was your wife, I'd have left my own wedding and left you sorry a-holes to fight it out. The lot of you. I have to disagree. Opie is not an a-hole. His brother-in-law purposely wore the outfit he did as an act of disrespect. He wore clothes that specifically said, "This wedding is an afterthought." The brother-in-law was purposely trying to provoke Opie. He was not provoked by Opie. Everyone sucks here. You fell right into his trap. He wanted to make you look like the a-hole. He knew what he was doing. He's a pile of toxic goo parading around as a man. I'm sorry he's your brother-in-law. And if you think this is the last time he will pull crap like this, you're mistaken. Not a a-hole. And why was it your wife is pissed, or more, as you were at her brother's behavior? Exactly. If the roles were reversed and the groom's sister showed up in a wedding dress, everyone would be singing a different tune, saying she isn't the a-hole for kicking the sister out, but because Opie is a man and the wedding isn't about him. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for taking my sister on my honeymoon instead of leaving her with my parents? My 36 female baby sister 12 female has autism, sensory processing disorder, ADHD, and multiple chronic physical illnesses. She started getting diagnosed with everything when she was almost 5. After a year, my parents decided they couldn't deal with her and asked me and my then boyfriend, now fiance 38 male, to adopt her. My fiance and I are getting married at the end of next month and we'll be going to Hawaii for a week for our honeymoon. We've had a hard time finding someone to take care of her, and we asked my fiance's parents to take her. They said no, but offered to pay for her to come on our honeymoon and any extra childcare costs and accommodations that she would need. We thought about it for a while and decided to take her. She's so excited for the trip, and the hotel has an amazing daycare that she can go to when my fiance and I need some time away from her. My parents came over last weekend, and the first thing my sister told them was that she's coming to Hawaii with us. My parents asked why, and I said we couldn't find anyone to take care of her because of how complex her needs are, so we decided to take her with us. They offered to take her for the week, but we declined because 1. They love spending time with her, then get tired of her after around an hour. 2. They ignore her sensory issues. 3. They admit they are not capable of taking care of her. I told them why we declined, and my mom started yelling at me for making them out to be bad parents. They also refused to admit that we're her parents and hates when she calls them grandma and grandpa. They are not speaking to us and are threatening to not come to the wedding. So I wanted to know if I was the a-hole. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your parents were so incapable of caring for your sister that you had to adopt her. You can't trust your parents to care for your sister unsupervised for any length of time. Also, you should uninvite them from your wedding. They are toxic. They also refuse to admit that we're her parents and hates when she calls them grandma and grandpa. Guess they should have been actual parents and not have their adult daughter adopt her then. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Not the a-hole. They are bad parents, or they would be if they were raising her. Frankly, if they don't come to your wedding, they're showing that their fantasy world is more important than you or your sister. Yeah. Being manipulative and trying to guilt Opie by threatening not to go to the wedding after giving up their own child to Opie does make them bad parents. Not the a-hole. I actually think that's really sweet to bring her along. It's a shame you're not able to find suitable care to leave her with and have the honeymoon all to yourselves. But it's awesome that you're willing to take her with you rather than leave her with someone who cannot cope with her needs. And at least with the daycare, you'll get some alone time together, and she'll still be able to be with you two and have a good holiday whilst getting appropriate care when in their daycare. Her nanny can take care of her overnight. She just wasn't available the week of the honeymoon, so we'll go away for a weekend without her soon. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not paying for college? I'll preface this by saying that I, 33 male, am a widower. My wife Lee died 3 years ago due to hemorrhaging after giving birth to our twins, Dan and Sam. We had older sons 6 years ago and married shortly after college. I've been successful in my career, as was my wife. So I guess one might call us upper middle class? After Lee died, my sister moved in. My wife and I agreed she could stay with us during college 3 months before twins were born. My sister was 19 at the time, and her university was less than a mile from our home. Although I am still thankful to this day, sister helped me hire a nanny, a housekeeper, and would even watch the twins and my son on occasion. Wife had worked remotely, so we never needed them before and split the cooking and housework 50-50. Except the yard, I have horrible allergies, so I pay for service. I had the money, and to show my appreciation, I paid for tuition and fees. Fast forward, it's 3 years later. Sister will graduate summa cum laude and has several job offers. I'm very proud of her. She's helped me on weekends when I was forced to go out of town and watched the children. Nanny and housekeeper only work Monday to Friday. I don't think I need a nanny or housekeeper when I'm there to take care of the children or cook/clean up. Problem? My brother-in-law, 23 male, is demanding that I pay his tuition/housing/etc. He says he deserves it because it is what his sister would have wanted. He does not live with me, nor has he ever helped me with his nephews and niece. He just expects it. I've gotten several awkward phone calls from my wife's family because he is telling everyone that I am paying. Am I the a-hole if I say no? Not the a-hole. Your sister was providing a service in exchange for education, as in bartering. Your brother-in-law has nothing to barter with. I am curious as to how he knows about your financial arrangement with your sister though, since finances are nobody else's business. Besides, you have to save up for your children's college now anyways. Why would you be a a-hole when all your brother-in-law have done to you and your family is ask for money? You've given money to your sister because you got something in return, which would else be given to someone else to do the things for you. If your wife was alive, maybe you two would have helped him even if he didn't do anything. But your income is half than it would be, and you would still have to spend money on you and your children. The alternative to you paying your sister is not giving him money, it's giving someone else money, not the a-hole. I saw this and wanted to reply. I never asked my sister to watch the children. She volunteered. I asked her about it a few minutes ago because it made me worried that I made her feel compelled to watch them/help me after my wife died. Sister says, "Because you're my brother, you doofus." Her words verbatim. I paid off her schooling to show my appreciation for her sacrifices these last 3 years. Wow, it will be 4 years in November. I guess when I paid off sister's schooling debt, she'd told our parents, who are still good friends with Lee's parents. I've decided not to pay for brother-in-law's schooling. I know my wife would have at least given him a gift or something, so I think a microwave and mini fridge and maybe a new printer will be the extent of my contribution to his education. I saw the bit about paying someone else's tuition wouldn't be any different. I think a memorial scholarship at her alma mater might be something I discuss with my financial advisor. Thanks.